This is Dyer from Divergence Analysis, and we're going over the crude oil futures chart on a 1-minute time frame. I want to show you three main signals that were given today with the divergence analysis indicators on NinjaTrader charts. Just to recap, those indicators are DVAN buying selling cycles, DVAN short-term trend, and DVAN signals, which we all have applied currently. So you can see the three main signals. Volatility started to pick up, especially around 11. Before 11 though, at about 10:41, we see a green arrow, which is given by the cross of the green algorithm line above the blue baseline, the DVAN signals, as you see here. The green arrows correspond to crosses, the red arrows correspond to crosses down. The green arrow was a confirmed signal because the buying selling cycles, the three lines, the light blue trend line, gray dotted pivot line, and red stop line, had converged. Prices were above the pivot, signaling a trend change up. Green price bars signaled that buying pressure was dominant. And looking at the short-term trend, we also had, looking at the green histogram here, we had short-term trend up. The leading algorithm had already broken zero, meaning force was to the upside, and that resulted in a nice hit to the upside. The larger move occurred to the short side at 10:56. We see the red arrow coinciding the DVAN signals velocity indicator that was given below. Red price bars signal selling pressure dominance. We see the price below the pivot, meaning the trend is down. We're into a convergence of the three lines in the buying selling cycles. And we also see short-term trend is giving an indication of weakness. It had been since 10:50. The sell signal is actually given at 10:56, so there's 5 or 6 minutes of warning before the sell signal is actually triggered. And then you see immediately after the leading algorithm go down to show the short-term force moving us in the downward direction. When you see the leading algorithm come back into the histogram here, that's going to show you consolidation. You also see consolidation with the green price bars coming up. As soon as you see these consolidation warnings and ultimately the green short-term trend warnings here, we'll be cautioned to place a stop for our short position or watch for a reversal. Our stop becomes the pivot line here. As we can see, we come up to resistance but never cross it. Two key things signal that we're going to re-enter the short side. When you see the buying selling cycles here diverge back away from each other, this red line moved back away from the pivot and the trend. That signals a continuation to the downside direction. You also see the leading algorithm push back down and the red histogram begin again. So that leads us even farther down, which ultimately is a huge hit from about 10:56 to 11:35, where the next long signal is given. The long signal is confirmed with the green arrow coinciding the velocity indicator on the DVAN signals, green short-term trend, leading algorithm line broken, and a close above the pivot line. So these are three signals that were given intraday before 12 noon today on the crude oil futures on a 1-minute chart.